Good afternoon. I'll just briefly talk about the current situation of YCS now, and any questions at the end would be great. So it was 2.5 years ago now that I was a student in the YCS movement. My local group was in my high school in Townsville, and not a lot has changed in regards to where YCS is present since then. Australian YCS has groups in whatever capacity in the dioceses of Townsville, Parramatta, Melbourne, Port Pirie, Adelaide, and where I live now in Perth. We have 6 paid workers around Australia for YCS, 2 of which join me today. So there's Tali from Adelaide and Jess from Melbourne. And as an action movement for high school students, we have a national executive team who I work with directly, which consists of 8 students from 4 of the 6 dioceses I previously mentioned. Kate is a Melbourne representative. She's just there. So from July the 2nd to the 8th, so just the start of this month, up in Millgrove, the national executive team met for our biannual meeting in which we review the national movement using, of course, the See Judge Act method. It was a very successful meeting, which I will touch on briefly in a minute. AYCS is facing currently a need for evaluation and review as a movement from an external perspective. We have been working towards aims and goals that were set in, although really not that long ago, what was a different time and society, especially for high school students. And so acknowledging that, we need to adapt to these external changes, and in light of the Albert Einstein quote, insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting different results. We admit that despite the hard work of our workers, student leaders, and support structures, the outcomes have plateaued in recent years, rather than experiencing growth. This was arguably only accepted by the playmakers in recent years, which would be a factor as to how the situation got to a point that it's at now. However, I see this sense of urgency as a blessing in disguise. And so it was incredibly exciting and energising to see the national executive students be real and honest when reflecting on the national movement and what YCS provides to them as youth in the Australian Church at the start of this month. In this process, being critical of the current structure is an important discussion to have in order to move forward with the vision. So this was one success of the recent National Executive meeting and an example of the sense of ownership and practical leadership of the high school students I work with. 3 points of prioritised action needed that were recognised by the team were sustainable finances, diocesan adult support and national adult support. All of these focus areas or priorities for YCS now, we believe, can be pushed greatly by adult support, and so we present the creation of the National Adult Support Team, something that has actually been on our minds for some 10 years or so now, I believe. Without taking away or underestimating the capabilities of students, I look forward to creating a vision for this initiative and for Australian YCS as a whole movement. This is an exciting time for us, as it is important to allow young people a voice in what I see is a key platform for youth to engage in the church and practice faith and be active in their lives. I imagine what comes out of these discussions with the Adult to Support YCS will trickle into sessions and themes at our national conference, which will be taking place in Perth from the 12th to the 18th of January next year. If you happen to be over in the West Coast in that time, I invite you to attend. I guarantee you'll be impressed by the students and their critical and inspiring discussions. On a different note, as a nation, YCS has a national campaign. We are currently looking at climate injustice as a result of climate change, something very relevant with the 2015 encyclical Laudato Si. I witnessed the students' passion to this issue a few weeks ago, and I look forward to seeing the actions unfold, so stay tuned. Reflecting on today, I extremely appreciate Kiara's reflection on the work of Victoria Cap as it begins thoughts on the role of women in the early days of Cardane's work and after. As said earlier in Vicky's presentation, all 6 workers for YCS are currently female, and in addition, 6 out of 8 students on our national executive team are female as well. It would be interesting to see where the gender ratio became uneven in members, or is there a gap of acknowledgement in or research of women's roles, or is there something else we are missing? And how do we ensure young men are engaging with the critical formation that YCS uniquely provides so well? As a YCS worker, we learn about the life of Joseph Cardine and the super recent history of YCS and YCW movements in Australia, but not so much all that is in between. So this day has been incredibly insightful for filling this blank, and I've thoroughly enjoyed being here. Thank you very much.